right through this woman. The level of hell that she has put this poor man through, in my opinion at this point, it is just abusive. And it's gotta stop. People need to start holding this woman accountable. I have seen creators be canceled for less. So when are we gonna start?
Y'all, my FYP is literally all about this apology video. Like, people are pissed. There are so many people who are literally, like, genuinely pissed the fuck off at what GYPSY's doing to Ryan. And as we should be. That apology was so fucking phony and so selfish and so self-absorbed and so totally not for Ryan, and everybody is seeing through it. Finally, people are seeing through her manipulative bullshit. I am so sorry for Ryan that it took all of this pain for Ryan to go through in order for everyone to finally see GYPSY for who GYPSY is. But now that it's out there, people are not going to be sympathetic to her anymore. Like, people are over with being sympathetic to GYPSY, and people are calling her out for who the fuck she is. I mean, that's all been on my FYP. Every single video that has been on my FYP has been people pissed off at GYPSY and, like, calling her out for being manipulative, for having narcissistic tendencies, for literally all the shit that she does. Yeah, I don't understand how people were so accepting of her, but then we also have to remember that the narrative that everybody was spinning while she was in prison was this narrative that she was this abused little girl who didn't know her age, didn't know who she was, and, you know, her mother hid her true identity from even her. Like, when you look at those optics, yeah, it does look very sympathetic, right? It does. But when you actually realize, like, all of that was not true and it was a lie, then you start to peel back the layers. You guys, seeing GYPSY do this shit to Ryan publicly, imagine what her mother was going through. Imagine every single day being abused by your own child in your own home. I mean, just imagine what her mother was going through. Like, the fear that her mother had to have. Like, now you can go back and you can look at all of those videos of them together with a different perspective now, because we know that she's the aggressor, right? Like, we know that now. Go back and watch those videos and you can see her mother was legitimately fucking terrified of her own child. Like, she was scared of her. When you go back and you look at the video, I'm sorry, that just, like, really hurts my heart, because I can't imagine being that fearful of my own kid and allowing my child to stay in my home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could not do that. I could not be in fear of my own kid and be like, okay, you're just cool to stay here. Nah, hell no. Hell no. Like, no. Like, this is my house and I'm going to feel safe in my own fucking home. And if I can't feel safe in my home because of you, you're getting the fuck out. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care if I have to call the police. I don't care if I have to get a restraining order. Like, you're not going to make me fear being in my own home. And again, with everything that we know now, knowing that GYPSY was being abusive to her mother, And how domestic violence works, like I've been in domestic violence relationships, so I understand that you as the abuse victim feel like if you speak up, the abuse is going to get worse, right? So it's almost like you'd rather not say anything at all because you don't want them to find out that you're talking about how they're hurting you, because then they'll hurt you even worse. Just like we're seeing her do to Ryan. Like, Ryan didn't even do anything. Like, he legitimately did not even do anything. All he did was stand up for himself. All he did was stand up for himself and be like, no, you have been talking mad shit about me. Oh, I'm just a member of the public. Oh, I'm just a member of the public type of thing. And yeah, he stood up for himself, and she did not like it. And she is crashing the fuck out because she is upset that she no longer has control over Ryan. Hey, Chrissy. She said Christy didn't answer her for 3 weeks. Where was she? There's really no telling. There's really no telling. Right. Back to Bushwick. I absolutely agree. She doesn't like that. Okay, so she thought that putting that information out about Ryan being on methadone was going to be like, oh my God, and like turn people against him because he's, an addict or whatever. And it did the exact opposite. People were more sympathetic to Ryan knowing that he was on MAT medication. And everybody came to his rescue and supported him. And she absolutely can't stand that. She cannot stand the fact that people actually like him for who he is and not because he was with GYPSY. She had this whole idea that, his platform was built on because he was her husband, right? But that's not true anymore because they've been separated for a year and his platform has continued to build and build and build and build and build because he's a likable fucking person, because he doesn't go around treating people like shit like GYPSY does. You can't treat people like shit and then apologize 2 days later and expect things to just be the way that they were before. Like, you just can't do that. You just can't go around being a shitty person and expecting everybody to just be so accepting of that. She is so desperate to feel superior, to feel like she has the upper hand on everybody because she's got this huge platform. Apparently, she went live last night while her show was airing. Guess how much money she made? Just guess. Oh my gosh, you guys, I did a foot mask. Look at my feet peeling. I did a foot mask. My other one's peeling even worse than that. $8,000, honey. She didn't even make $100. She literally made $98. That's it. People are not supporting her anymore. Hey, Jess. People are not supporting her anymore. $100 is like nothing. I mean, when she first came out, she was making upwards of $1,000 every single time she went live. Every time. That's a good paycheck. Kimber! Come lay down. Kimber! Get over here. Here. Leave it. Good boy. $100 is nothing in comparison to $1,000, That means that the people that were gifting her when she got out, she literally has none of that support anymore. Yeah, $100. That's all she made on her live last night. That's it. That is it. I signed up for TickLeap, which is the website that you can go into to see like how much creators make on their lives. And it's just going down and down and down and down and down. All year it's been on a downward trajectory. So again, when she first came out, she was making upwards of like $1,000 every time she went live. Then it went from 1,000 to 800 to 500 to 600. Now she's not even banking $100 for an hour. And she does. She has a very, very bad spending habit. And y'all, I just want to know, like, what the fuck is Ken doing? What is Ken doing? Does he know about this video that she posted? Because I can't imagine my significant other posting a video, a public apology to their ex-spouse, crying, talking about how, you know, their comfort is with another person. Like, I would be legitimately pissed the fuck off. He's always working. I think that he loves to work to get away from Gypsy. I mean, who would want to be around her all day? Who would want to be around her all day when she acts the way that she does? Right? Like, I wouldn't want to be around her. She's a terrible fucking person. I mean, she's a horrible fucking human being. She doesn't deserve anything. Nothing. So my question, I think that Ken is scared. You noticed how whenever Mia was trying to talk to him, hey Katie, nothing, we just started. You noticed how when Mia was going over to their house and was like trying to talk to him and say like, hey, you know, if there's anything you want to talk about, you can come to me. I think she was trying to throw Ken a lifeline. Like, hey, I know that Gypsy can be overwhelming. If you need somebody to talk to, you can talk to me. I mean, he legitimately has nobody in Louisiana. Nobody. His mother lives in Texas or Arizona somewhere. Like, he doesn't have any support system in Louisiana. The only support system he has is Gypsy and her family. And abusers do that. They isolate you from your family so you feel like you have nowhere to go. So they're able to continue to control you and make you feel like you have no escape route. Hold on, you guys. My phone is dirty. I want to clean off the screen. And I truly do not think that Ryan is going to fall back into Gypsy's bullshit. I feel like Ryan has finally seen the light. You know, he's finally opened up his eyes enough to realize that she's being abusive. And like I said, every single video that I've seen online today about Gypsy has been about exposing Gypsy for being abusive, manipulative, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic. Like, nobody has anything good to say about her anymore. And everybody is, not that there are sides, because there aren't any sides, but when you think about what Gypsy did and what Ryan did, there is no comparison. There's no comparison. What, like, he didn't even do anything to deserve what she did. And people see that and they're like, oh, wow, This is narcissistic abuse. And they're calling it out for that. Ryan still has a soft spot, and she knows that Ryan still has a soft spot. And that's why in that apology video, I've only been on for like 10 minutes. That's why in that apology video, she started bringing up like who he was when they were together. And it's like, of course he was a different person when y'all were together because y'all were together, and now you're not, and you've hurt him. So of course he's not going to react and act in the same ways that he was when he was with you, walking on eggshells, trying to make sure that he didn't do anything wrong to piss you off. Like, of course, when you're in a relationship where you feel like you have to constantly walk on eggshells and you can't be yourself, of course, when you're no longer in that situation anymore, you're going to feel the freedom to be yourself again. And that's the thing about Ryan, is he's genuine, he's himself, and people like that. People like him for who he is. Even if he got online and did not say a fucking thing about GYPSY, people would still watch his lives. People would still want to like sit down and hang out with him like we're hanging out right now. People would still want to hang out with him because he's a likable person. GYPSY is not. GYPSY is not a likable person. Because she's not genuine. She's phony as fuck. Yeah, his demeanor, back to Bushwick says his demeanor is gentle and kind, and he is just naturally funny. And he is. He's got naturally good energy, good vibes, good aura. I always got that from Ryan. Even though I felt like it was fucking weird for him to reach out to Schmurderer, I understood where that empathetic part of him came from in wanting to like lend a hand and say like there is support, you know? Exactly, Katie. He's finally out of the birth canal. So, yes. We all have some distant partner that makes us question why. Slowpoke says Ryan Anderson is so hot. Look, he's not my type, but if you like it, you got it. You know, he's definitely not my type at all. But I don't think he's a bad looking dude. I don't think that he has a terrible personality. Like, if he was my type, he'd be a good guy to go for. Because he is very kind, very genuine, very compassionate, very honest, has a good personality, and seems to have a pretty good head on his shoulders. I mean, obviously we all make mistakes, and I feel like he's realizing now that GYPSY was one of those mistakes that he made, and he is learning from that. And when you are in a narcissistic, abusive type of relationship, you don't realize what it is when you're in it. You only realize what it is when you get out of it. When the fog finally starts to lift and you're like, oh my God, how did I not see that? Like, how did I miss that? Yeah, he's like a big teddy bear. Ken didn't post that picture of him and GYPSY. GYPSY posted that picture of him and GYPSY. In my opinion, I feel like GYPSY is in control of Ken's social media page. It's not Ken. Ken doesn't give a fuck about social media. GYPSY is the one that cares. Just like she's mad that Ryan has almost 1 million people who follow and support him. GYPSY would be just as angry if she and Ken split up and Ken started to enjoy having the support that he has. But Gypsy's the one that's in control of Ken's social media page. It's not Ken. He's always busy at work. He doesn't really have time to post on social media. And another thing too that I feel like Ken is purposely always at work. Like he's purposely always at work to get the fuck away from Gypsy, because it's hard to be around somebody like her all the time. I mean, she doesn't work. She doesn't have any hobbies. Her only hobby is watching videos about herself. And she's so consumed with what everyone thinks about her that, yeah, exactly, Chrissy, it's mentally and emotionally draining to constantly feel like you have to cheer somebody up because they're in such a negative space all the time. It's fucking exhausting, you know? And I think that that's why he keeps his distance, because it's like, if I'm not around her, then I can actually enjoy my day, you know, when he's with her. I mean, you could tell when they were at Jazz Fest. He's sitting there having a good time when he was on live, and he turned the camera to her, and what was the first word out of her mouth? It's hot. Like, full of complaints, just like nothing ever satisfies her. She's always complaining about something, and it's fucking exhausting. Tia, no, you didn't miss anything. We're just having a chat. Exactly, Luna. That apology video was just full of manipulation. Hey, Kane. Thanks for coming. Hey, Priscilla. I don't know how the contract works with Lifetime, and if they only get paid like after the season is over, or if they get paid at the beginning of the season. But in my opinion, I think Ken is waiting for his paycheck so he can bounce. Whatever paycheck he's waiting on the paycheck so he can get the fuck out of there. And if you look at her video when she was talking shit, talking about, quit talking about me, that video, if you look in the glasses, Ken was not sitting next to her. He must have gotten up and walked away, and she made that video while he was not sitting next to her. Because if you look in the glasses, you can see that he's not sitting next to her. Yeah, it's exactly like the Christmas tree. Ken was having a good time, like wanting to share that experience with her, and she was just like, bah humbug. Like, she's just never satisfied with anything. And as we've like progressed through this year, we're seeing that personality of hers come out more and more. This side of her that never appreciates anything, never satisfied with anything, always complaining about everything, always thinking that the grass is greener on the other side, and unable to just be satisfied with what she has in life. She was definitely drunk texting. Yep, as soon as she went for a toilet break, she made that video. Oh, water aerobics sounds fun, Patience. She was. I think because she had a little bit too much to drink, she was reminiscing on all the good times that her and Ryan had together, and she was sad that, like, if you really read through the lines in the video that she posted, she said at the end of the video, like, now it's all coming to an end. Like, you're really realizing that it's over. That wasn't about Ryan. That was about GYPSY realizing that she no longer has control over the situation because Ryan is seeing her for who she is and doesn't want to have anything to do with her because of everything that she's saying about him in the show. She's realizing that it's finally over, that he's cut ties and doesn't want anything to do with her anymore. So she's having a fucking meltdown because she can't pull him back in anymore. Before, she was able to continue to hoover him back in because he didn't know what she was saying about him to everybody else. But now he knows. He knows what she, you know, all the shit that she was talking about him behind his back. Ryan supported her through everything. Like, literally was on the phone with her for hours at a time while she was in prison, sent her money, got married to her. You know, he was living with his mom, helping his mom take care of his little nephew. Like, he didn't have to worry about paying any like household bills or anything like that. He literally got an apartment for him and GYPSY to live in, helped her go get an ID, like helped her do everything. And she's just so ungrateful. Tia, that she brings up an excellent point. Let me read this comment out loud. So Tia says, I do like Ryan, but I find it strange he works with special ed children and then was attracted to an adult that seemed to be a special ed child when she unalived Dee Dee and then became obsessed. So to me, it sounds like because maybe it's not so weird because he is a special ed teacher. Maybe he is subconsciously more attracted and more empathetic towards special ed children or people because that's who he works with. So maybe that's why he was able to have a little bit more compassion for GYPSY, and maybe that's what attracted him to her in the beginning because of his natural empathy towards that group of people already. Does that make sense? Yeah, the baby voice was weird. She does give entitlement a new fucking meaning. She was still pregnant at the book signing, you could tell. I feel like, hold on. Yes, like he can fix the problem and some problems can't be fixed, and GYPSY was one of them. I think that he really wanted to be able to see the good in her and not, you know how everybody looks at her like a unaliver. Hey Mandolin, hey Sapphire. You know how everybody looks at her like she's an unaliver because that's what we see her as. Because that's, you know, we see her for the crime that she committed, for the person that she is, and for her past. I think that Ryan really wanted to look past the crime and get to know GYPSY for who GYPSY is. And of course, she didn't actually portray herself to be the real her. You know, she was playing a character that entire time. Can we watch season 1 of Life After Lockup to refresh my memory? Yeah, we can. I have to figure out how we can watch it, but yeah, we can. Do you guys want to do that on YouTube? You guys want to go back and watch season 1? I think we would have to actually go back to the prison confessions, because that's when she first introduces everyone to Ryan in the prison confessions. And then when season 1 came out, when she was getting out of prison. But while she was in prison, she was they were filming, and that's when everybody learns about who Ryan is. So, yeah, I think that it would be a good idea to start there so that everybody can see, like, who he was before she got out of prison and how he acted towards her then. Okay, so if everybody hasn't seen all of it, we'll start that. My daughter has a chorus concert tomorrow because it's like end of the year type stuff. So we'll start that on Thursday. I won't be live tomorrow because my daughter has a chorus concert. It's at 7 and it usually doesn't end until 9. I mean, I guess I could come on at 9:30 whenever we get home. I can't find her Dr. Phil interview. Every time I look for it online, I always find the Spanish version. I don't know if it's just yeah, I looked there. It's always the Spanish version. And as much as I tried YouTube. And as much as I would love to be able to watch it in Spanish, I can't understand Spanish. I think that both Ryan and Ken reached out to her not expecting anything but saying, hey, I just want to let you know that you have people out here that support you. And I think that GYPSY sees that as a way to start manipulating them into continuing to communicate with her. She sees everybody as a trick. Basically. Yeah, they're tricks. Yeah. She sees everyone as a trick. How can I pull this trick in? How can I pull this trick in? How can I pull this trick in? And it seemed like Ryan and Ken seemed to have more empathy towards her, and she was able to rope them into kind of feeling like they were like they loved her. I don't even think that either one of them really loved her. I think that they were more in love with the idea of her, of who she pretended to be to them. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You right, Mandolin. I don't know if Dr. Phil is on Lifetime. I wonder, Tia, if Dr. Phil is embarrassed that he didn't catch more of her manipulation and lies. Like, I'd love to hear from Dr. Phil now to see what he thinks about everything that's going on. Like, I would love to hear from Dr. Phil today. Like, Dr. Phil, tell us what it is that you see, what's going on in GYPSY land, on social media, everything. Like, give us the update that we all want to hear, the psychological update. Yeah, Dr. Phil only cares about ratings. Hey, Mama T. They all went with the narrative for financial reason. I mean, it's a story. I mean, you think about how many people's lives are out there that are interesting based on, the shit that they've gone through. This was a story, something that you didn't hear before. A Munchausen by proxy, alleged victim, unaliving her own mother, when most Munchausen by proxy victims, they die because their abuser generally makes them so sick that they unalive them, you know? That's just how MBP works. Like, that's just how it works. Most of the time, the kids do not live past 8 or 9 because the mother or the caregiver is making them sick. Like, sick. On the podcast? Which podcast? Mandolin, is this new information that he's talking about? If so, I want to know which podcast it is so I can watch it. Yeah, you're probably right, Tia. You're probably right. Tia says, I'm sorry, I disagree with you regarding them writing to GYPSY. Women might reach out to GYPSY for support, but men only reach out to people that they're attracted to. She says, you're thinking like a woman, and absolutely, because I am a woman. So you're right. I would definitely be reaching out in a way to like lend a hand, like offer empathy and support and sympathy and all of that. But I do think that Ryan mentioned that when he saw GYPSY in the Mommy, Dad, and Dearest documentary, that he thought GYPSY was cute. And let's just look at what GYPSY looked like in that video. Oh, we could even watch Mommy, Dad, and Dearest if you guys wanted to. I don't think that really shows much of an interaction between her and other men. So this was what GYPSY looked like when Mommy, Dead, and Dearest was in. That's what she looked like. I think maybe her hair was a little bit longer. Here we go. This is from Mommy, Dead, and Dearest. She looks incredibly young. Incredibly young. Like, if I didn't know she was 26, 27, I would think she was 15. Like, straight up. She looks like a teenager. But when this first aired, she was 27. 27 years old when this came out. Okay, hold on. Watch what first? JJK, are you talking about Mommy, Dead, and Dearest, or do you want to start with the prison confessions? Oh, the one that I was just showing? So we should start with that one and watch all of them? Okay. We can definitely do that. If you guys are watching me on YouTube, we can't watch it on YouTube. I can't stream it on YouTube. I'll get a copyright violation. But if you follow me on TikTok, it's under the same username. You can follow me on TikTok and we can watch it live starting tomorrow night at 9:30. We can watch it. So we'll start with Mommy, Dead, and Dearest because that was the first documentary that came out. 23. Hold on. Let's wait a second. She was 23 when she first got arrested. Mommy, Dead, and Dearest came out 2 years later. So 24 whenever, hold on. It says that it came out in 2017. So she was 23 in 2015. So she was 25, 26 at the time. Still looks 15. I mean, she looks incredibly young, which is a little concerning when you think about these men writing to her. I mean, look at that. You know how if you look at somebody for long enough, you can find things that you think are attractive on them. I mean, even somebody that you don't like, if you look at them long enough, you'd be like, "Oh, wow. They really have nice eyebrows." Like, you'll think of the weirdest shit that you start to believe that they look good. Oh, wow, they've got really nice jawline. Like, normally you're not interested in how they look, but because you are looking at them, it's just the way the mind works. The mind starts to point out features that are attractive. It's just the way the mind works. It's how psychology works. I don't know why. But if you look at somebody long enough, you're going to find something that you find attractive on them. And I think that that's what they did. I think that they looked at her long enough and was like, "Oh, yeah, I can kind of see, yeah, I can kind of see she looks kind of cute, And then when you start talking to the person, you start to imagine them being more attractive than they are. Like you start to imagine them being a 15 when really they're a 3. Mandolin says, "I can't drink that pretty." I think it was more than rose-colored glasses, but you know what I'm trying to say. She does look like she's 40 now. She's aged a lot. Hey, if you stare at it long enough, if you stare at it long enough, you will find something that you think is cute, You'll start being like, "Oh, I don't know. Oh, but I really like that curly hair, You'll find something. That's all I'm saying. It just takes a little bit of time. And the more and more and more you look at that person, the less ugly they look. You can convince yourself that they look better than they do. That's what they both did. And when you think about it, now I know Gypsy was on the line with a bunch of men. But from my research in how psychology works with men or women who date prisoners, the psychology behind that is that they know that this person is in prison and they're not going to be able to do anything to emotionally hurt them. That's the idea. that, oh, they're in prison, they're not going to cheat on me, they're not going to do this or that. You know, like, that's the idea. So it feels like a safe relationship to be in. Yes, exactly, Luna. They feel safe. I have HBO Max, Hulu, Netflix, Stars, like I have the whole shebang. Thank you. I'm funny most of the time. They cheat with men. Men do. And sometimes women do too. But you know, that the idea is that, oh, this person's in prison, so they're not going to really do anything to cheat on me. They're not going to be, you know, dating anybody else. Little did Ryan and Ken both know that Gypsy had like 5 different pen pals. 5. And I think that Ken did initially like break up with Gypsy so that Gypsy could, you know, live her life and it like learn how to become a whole person, you know? And instead of Gypsy using that opportunity as a way for her to grow and become a better person, she jumped into another relationship with yet another man. And I'm sorry, you can't jump from relationship to relationship to relationship without doing the work that you need to do on yourself and expect for that other person to heal whatever is wrong with you. It just doesn't work that way. I know because I've tried it, and it doesn't work that way. She doesn't know how to be alone. She's extremely codependent. And I think that whenever she is alone, she doesn't know how to cope with being alone. And I think that like whenever she goes live, if there's not anyone there with her, she doesn't want to go live by herself. It's almost like she feels like she needs a backup person in order to feel secure in who she is. Kane says, I have a question. Why is she so conceited? That is a really good question. And I think that Gypsy let it get to her head that she had a lot of supporters. And I think that she feels that there are lots of people out there that want to be with her because she has 9 million followers. And she let that go to her head, obviously. She's not a good-looking person in any way, shape, or form. And her attitude makes her even uglier than... Oh my gosh, you guys, my legs are so dry. I usually use coconut oil, but I'll have to use this because I was scratching my leg and I'm like, it's dry. Yeah, Dee Dee did make her feel so special. And that's what she's used to. She's used to being doted on. Look, I got this big ass bruise on my leg. I have no idea how that happened. No clue. No clue. No clue what I did. I've always been extremely clumsy. And I never know where these bruises come from. I don't even remember hitting myself right there. Like, where did that come from? Well, she gave her a champagne life on a beer budget because they weren't paying for it. You know, they weren't paying for it. Dee Dee wasn't working to support Gypsy. I wonder how much Rod was giving them in child support. It couldn't have been much. because he had 2 kids to take care of as well, and a wife. That, I don't know, did Christy work? I know that's a weird thing to say. Oh my God. And her airing out Rod and Christy's business in her apology video? Like, why would you do that? Why would you tell everyone their business? Like, tell your business all you want, but you don't talk about other people's business. Not online, not without their consent. She did that purposely. You know why she did that purposely? Because she wanted to take the attention off of her and have everyone asking, oh my God, so your dad and Christy were going to get divorced? Thank you, Kimber. Oh, she is definitely the reason. I think, hey, Ariel. I think that, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Indigo. Do you guys watch Indigo on YouTube? She's the body analysis person. She always does like body analysis, like body language stuff. Thank you, Kimber. She always does like body language stuff on different people. Yeah, okay, so she posted in one of my comment sections a couple of weeks ago, she was like, I bet having GYPSY in Rod and Christy's home is really taking a toll on their marriage. And I agreed with her 100%. I was like, it's absolutely taking a toll on their marriage. Because from my understanding, Christy never liked GYPSY or Dee Dee. Period. And in my personal opinion, hey Harry, hold on. My Alexa, off. It always turns on. I have it programmed to turn on at a certain time. But I'm going to bed later than I usually used to. I used to be in bed by 10 o'clock because I'm an old lady. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, Indigo. So we were talking about how she thinks that Rod and Christy are in a strained relationship because of GYPSY being there. And from my understanding, I don't think Christy ever liked Dee Dee or GYPSY. Ever. And I think Christy is the reason why Rod didn't have a relationship with GYPSY or Dee Dee. I think Christy, we all know she's a master manipulator just like GYPSY. I think Christy manipulated the entire situation and made Rod feel guilty anytime he spent time with GYPSY and Dee Dee, and it took away from their family. So, of course, after so many times of like going to visit Dee Dee and GYPSY and coming back and Christy being pissed off, of course, Rod's going to be like, well, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it if every time I go see them, I'm making my wife upset. Because obviously he wants to keep his wife happy. Thank you, Ariel. So I think that Christy, emotionally blackmailed him into abandoning Nicolette and GYPSY. Hey, Harry, it's nice to meet you. Peace in Christ. Right, you were thinking the exact same thing, right? That's what I'm saying, Tia. It's really easy to let go of kids because you have a new family. But I also believe that Christy made it difficult for him. She seems like the type, She does not seem like the understanding and comforting type of person. She seems very vindictive, just like GYPSY, and I believe that she is the reason why, Dee Dee or Rod left Dee Dee. I don't think Ryan believes that anymore. I don't think Ryan believes that it's all Christy anymore. Because Ryan even said GYPSY does what GYPSY wants to do. So if GYPSY did not want to leave Ryan, she wouldn't have. And yeah, it's taking him a little bit of time to come to terms with the reality of her leaving him because that's what she wanted to do. But I think he's finally coming to terms with that. I think he's finally starting to understand that the person he thought he married is not the person that she actually is. Harry, Christy is GYPSY's stepmother. Oh, I'm sure GYPSY wants to break up their marriage. GYPSY can play nice in Christy's face all she wants to, but GYPSY is extremely resentful of Christy because for all GYPSY's life, Christy has been the woman that took took Rod away from Dee Dee and GYPSY. So of course GYPSY is resentful. Of course GYPSY wants revenge. And what better way to get revenge than to split up that family that he has now? Don't get it twisted. GYPSY's looking for revenge on everybody. Why do you think she wanted to get out of prison so badly and go to Louisiana? Not because she wanted to live with this family that she never knew. I mean, she doesn't fucking know them. She wanted revenge. She still does. She's enacting a plan of revenge that she's had for years on Rod, on Christy, on Mia, on Dylan, on literally everybody. She's just biding her time before she actually enlists all of her revenge. But it's coming. It's coming. Everybody is on the list. Ken's on the list too. Part one of the revenge for Ken breaking up with her is, getting pregnant. That was part one. That was part one of the revenge. There's more for Ken. Like, I don't know what the revenge is going to be because she's got a twisted fucking mind that I haven't figured out yet. But she wants revenge. She wants revenge on the entire family. Thank you, Harry. I think Lifetime puts up with her because they're waiting for the fallout. I think they all know that there's going to be a big bang and they want to be the first one to catch it. Because you can't let a murderer out of prison and not expect that there's going to be some retaliation later down the line. Yeah, she blames all of them. She blames all of them. Like, this girl can hold a grudge. Yeah, I like that they asked that question too, Mandolin, in the show when they were asking why did she let Bree send those messages rather than sending them herself. Because it was like they were trying to show the pattern. They were trying to show everyone her pattern of getting other people to do her dirty work for her. We've already seen what happened when she manipulated one person into doing her dirty work, and now she's continuing to do that pattern. She didn't want to firsthand hurt Ryan because she didn't want that to, harm her chances of getting back with Ryan. So when she is able to kind of deflect that accountability onto someone else, she can say, oh no, that wasn't me, Ryan. I didn't know that she was going to put those messages out. I would never hurt you like that. She can use that excuse. But if she was to do it herself, then she no longer has that excuse, and Ryan knows that, yeah, she was putting that message out there to intentionally hurt him. I think that they are too. I think that Lifetime is starting to see that. I think they're starting to see who GYPSY is. And I think that they're slowly trying to pull that person out so that they can get ratings gold. I mean, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that's what they want. Oh, they see it. Believe that. They see it. And they're just waiting to reach that pot of gold. They're almost there. Like, we're almost there. Just a little bit longer. Because if you think she's this fucking unhinged while she's still on parole, when she's not getting her way, imagine what she's going to do when she's off of parole and not getting her way. Just imagine if this was her reaction to Ryan, basically standing up for himself and saying, no, like, I'm not going to allow you to hurt me anymore. Yeah, they're trained to spot manipulative behaviors. Oh, so the whole thing with the HIPAA violation. So yes, Ryan can sue for HIPAA violation, and he can also sue for defamation. And I think there was another thing that he could sue for as well. Hold on, you guys. I've got to
VIVC.
Oh, hold on.
VIVIX.
I've got to verify.
LPPID.
What the fuck?
VIVIX.
Okay. I hate it when it does that. No, so you can actually, HIPAA is not just about your medical provider, it's also about your spouse sharing private medical information, because that's a protected, it's protected under marital information. So say for instance, if I was married to a man and I had HIV or something, let's just use that, and he went and told my medical business on social media, I could sue him for violating HIPAA laws because he breached HIPAA laws by sharing my private medical information with the internet. It's a thing. It can be done that way. You think Flawless is getting her info from Lifetime? It's possible. They could be setting GRB up. They absolutely could be. GYPSY can. Yeah, GYPSY can get in trouble for what she's done. She can also get in trouble for that video that she made where she said, you punch me, I'm a punch 10 times harder. Like, because that's a threat. She is extremely predictable because she acts the same way. And it's like I said in that video, Ken needs to be paying attention to what's happening because he's going to be next. Like, all of this is going to be Ken in just a few months whenever Ken leaves her. Oh yeah, the drinking and the strip club stories are true. Because the person who said that she was at the strip club literally described what she was wearing before those photos were even online. That she was literally taking her clothes off at the strip club, trying to be the center of attention. And it's like, girl, these people are getting paid to do it, and you over here trying to do it for free? I think Ken is fully aware too. I think he's just trying to find the best way to exit with his life. I mean, just keeping it totally real. That video was also for Ken. You know what I mean? Like, it was for GYPSY, but it was also for Ken too. Because Ken is probably wholly pissed off about all the communication between GYPSY and Ryan, and is probably like, I'm like done. And so this was probably her sad ass attempt of trying to, you know, maintain a relationship with Ken and be like, look, I'm telling him to leave me alone. I'm publicly telling him to leave me alone. You know, that bullshit. I can't believe she aired out her dad and Christy's private information. Like, that's low. I feel like that was not her information to tell. And that was extraordinarily petty. Extraordinarily petty. Like, if people still trust GYPSY with information after this, they're stupid. Because narcissists will try to make you feel like you can trust them with your deepest, darkest secrets, and then they use them against you later on. And that's exactly what GYPSY is doing. Using their secrets against them. The whole separation thing was a secret that she's using against Ken and Christy for whatever reason. Probably because she's mad at them for making her say an apology to Ryan. Like, who knows what's going on behind the scenes? But GYPSY never does anything because she wants to. It's always because somebody makes her feel like the apology. It's always because there's a reason behind it. You know, trying to get back get back public favor. Oh yeah, I think that Ken is absolutely neglecting her on purpose because he wants her to leave him. He knows that if he wants to get out of this situation alive, that it needs to be GYPSY ending the relationship. Like, it needs to be GYPSY if he wants to leave with his life. And I hate to be like that, but it's true. So, a lot of people get angry with the parole officer, but the truth of the matter is that when you are on parole, you're living life like a regular citizen. You know, even though you have restrictions, you're treated just like any American citizen. And unless you are out here committing crimes, they're not going to violate you. They're not going to violate you because you're out drinking. They're not going to violate you because, you know, somebody calls in and reports you for this, that, or the other. The only time they will violate you is you get arrested for another crime. Like, you have to get arrested for another crime. I've known people on parole, and during their parole, I think that their parole officer maybe came to see them like twice in 1 year. So I highly doubt her parole officer is spending any time focused on what she's doing, truthfully. The end of parole works by her going in to the parole office, signing some papers saying that she's no longer on parole, and then she leaves, and that's that. That's it. Most parole officers are not going to violate you other than you getting another charge. Like, they're just not. Yep, that's it. That's all that happens. You go in, sign some paperwork that you're off of, that you've served your time, and that's it. I think that she's going to reoffend as well. Do I know what she's going to do to reoffend? No, none of us do, but she's going to reoffend. No, they can't deny the end of her parole. They can't. Unless she gets charged with another crime before the end of her parole. So if she was to go out right now and commit another crime and get arrested, they could prolong the ending of her parole. But she would have to go out, commit another crime, and get arrested in order to, in order for the parole not to end. Cyberbullying is not a provable crime that they're gonna offend her for. I don't think that they're going to take that seriously, to be honest. I think the only thing that they would take seriously is her going out and getting a DUI, her going out and committing an assault, her going out and robbing some place. Like, it's going to have to be a violent crime. Yeah, she's going to reoffend. Yeah, she's going to. Like, we all know she's going to. What she's going to do, I don't know. But she will. Because the way that she's acting, like going to the strip clubs, like literally flashing herself in the bar, like these are things that are going to attract attention, and out in public, the wrong kind of attention, and she's going to piss somebody off. And she's not going to be able to back up herself and protect herself because she's going to piss off the wrong person. Right, but even though she set up her first crime using the internet, because they didn't put any restrictions on the internet, it doesn't matter that she's cyberbullying. It does not matter. Unless somebody files a police report and charges her with something, parole does not give a fuck. I mean, I hate to be like that. I know it sucks, but it's just the truth. They don't care. Y'all can be the moles. Y'all can be the moles. Don't let her block you. Y'all can be the mole. All right, I'm going to go because it's already getting late. I'm going to go get my hair done tomorrow so that you don't see all these little grays in my hair anymore. It's crazy to think that whenever I was younger, my hairline was like right here. Like, hold on. So I usually wore my hair like this. When I was younger, I wore it like that. And you couldn't really see. Maybe you couldn't see. But I thought my hairline was like right here. And over time, it's just gone far back. But you can see all the little whites. I have whites in my eyebrows too, and in my lashes. I don't mind it. I really don't. I don't mind it in my eyebrows and in my eyelashes. I do mind it right here because a lot of times I pull my hair back and like I don't want those grays showing because my hair is so dark. So like you can actually, oh thank you Miss Busybody. So you can actually see the gray because my hair is so dark. Headband in black. Good idea. Oh, thank you, Peace in Christ. You are awesome. They sent me a $10 super chat. That was so sweet. Okay, you guys, I will see you tomorrow, but it's going to be a little bit later because, like I said, my daughter has her chorus concert, and we will hang out and we will be watching Mommy Dead and Dearest. So if you're watching me on YouTube, find me on TikTok, follow me so that we can watch it together tomorrow night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.